4, 3, 2, none. All right, looks like we're live. Oh, wait, that's not the right one. Whoop. All right, I'm Digital Cash Dev. I'm here to explain a few proposals, but we'll just start with the one that I'm going to start with, which is the P2P and ZMQ Web Explorer. So let me explain what this is real quick. Dash has several protocols. So some of them are inherited from Bitcoin. Some of them are modified from Bitcoin. Some of them were added to Bitcoin later and then brought into Dash. Some of them are unique to Dash. It's a lot. And it makes the learning curve like straight up and down cliff rather than, it's hard. So P2P and ZMQ are two protocols that I've already worked with in the past and that I would like to make an explorer for. By an explorer, I mean something similar in nature to what this is. Something that helps other developers be able to figure out how to use the tools on the web, not through complicated tools that or third-party services, but be able to directly use something that perhaps has a thin veneer that talks directly to a full node, but not a large application or framework. Just a very thin, simple way to be able to understand. For example, this is the case of the RPC Explorer. Here's all the RPCs you can use. It gives some example of what the RPC usage looks like if we select one, for example. So here's some examples of what it looks like. Here's an example of how to do it in code. So I want something that's similar to this, but for two other protocols that are separate protocols not related to RPC. The P2P handles, it's a binary protocol. And so some of those messages are going to be basic messages that are going to be covered. Some of them we'll have to do at a later time as we have more of a use for them. But we're going to cover some of the basic messages and allow people to interact, send messages, receive messages, see a log of the messages going through. It's in a standalone fashion, so they don't have to understand everything about all the protocols. Be able to look at the protocols independently and just see, okay, this is what this one does. This is what this one does. Kind of like, if you're going to open up a toolbox to fix a car, you don't want to have to learn all the tools to figure out which one is the one you need. You want to be able to kind of quickly identify, all right, I need the wrench. I need one that's this size, whatever. All right. So P2P is responsible for things like the coin join pools and requests, the governance objects, inventory objects, block sync. So this is a bidirectional protocol. It is not a web protocol, but it's easy to make it web ready. And we've already done some of that work by proxying it over a WebSocket. So basically all the data looks the same. It doesn't add anything on top of it to make it more confusing or more complicated. It just provides a very thin layer so that it can be connected to from a web browser. That's P2P. ZMQ is a one-directional protocol. And as far as I can tell, everything's read-only. And there was a security notice, and I'm going to ask someone about that to clarify. I think it's just left over because it said that some of the messages might contain sensitive information. I believe that was ZMQ. I have to go look at the docs there and see. But this is almost everything ZMQ does is public information. We'll whitelist this, so we only allow the public stuff if there is any stuff that's private, but I didn't see any. I think that the notification was old. Anyway, so this is responsible for things like if you wanted to scan a QR code and in a web app know that the QR code is scanned. So let's go look at that for a second. If we have something like, let me go switch this over to mainnet where I don't have anything. So I want to know instantly when this is scanned. And I don't want to have to check every 5 seconds. I want to know the very moment that it's scanned. I want to know. That's what ZMQ would do. And that protocol is very easily adapted to not WebSockets, but server-side events. So instance end, transactions in general, when a proposal goes through, that goes out through ZMQ as a notification. When a vote comes through, that goes out through ZMQ as a notification. So if you wanted something where you could see, here's the times that votes came in. So these are going to be resources developers can use to say, okay, what messages are available? What does the message look like? What's an example of it? How would I use it? And then some code snippets that they can copy and paste. Just like here, there's a little bit of code snippet where Okay, if you wanted to do this in the simplest way possible, this is all you want to do. Boom, you copy and paste this. That's what you got to do. Or boom, you copy and paste this. That's what you got to do. Now, these are a little bit more intricate than that. Code samples will be different. Will definitely require a use of a library in the case of P2P. ZMQ, we might be able to get by without a library, but we're going to just have a thin veneer on top of these that preserves the data, doesn't transform it into a different way, so there's not introducing confusion where, oh, here's the digital cache version of the P2P message, and here's the digital cache version of the ZMQ. Now, the message is going to be as close to the original as possible. It's the layer of how the message is. Either you have to go use older internet protocols like TCP to connect, versus you can use web protocols like HTTPS to connect. That's the main thing there. So I don't know if there's anything else about that I really want to highlight. There's different components to this. There's some library components. There's some proxy components that'll be written in Go, and there's some UI components that are going to be written in JavaScript and HTML. But the idea is to give people that it's kind of like interactive documentation is kind of the goal. Somebody needs to do some work, and then they say, oh, well, that's a P2P message. All right, come here to the Explorer. Let's check out what that P2P message looks like. And to just one last example, if I was to actually do something, let's see, where was my CoinJoin here? Let's go back to CoinJoin. Let's go back to testnet. Let's go back to looking at this information. Spent addresses. So let's do this. We're going to go over to the RPC. I'm actually going to put the T in front of this. So they're looking at the TRPC. If I want to get address deltas for this, what would that look like? Okay, here's the output. Here's what the developer needs to know what that looks like. So obviously, P2P is a different protocol, has a different message format. It's a different thing, but that's the general idea, is that somebody could look up a message type, like, oh, get address deltas. Over here, it would be, let's look at instance end, whatever, and then be able to see what does that message look like and be able to have some examples, code examples, everything. So that's it. The other proposals that I've got open right now, I've got several that are incoming, and you can see that at digitalcache.dev/proposals. Those will be coming. I'm just trying to schedule them in the right way. But another proposal that's open right now is the Web Wallet Path Explorer. This is similar in nature, but this is not protocol layer. This is at the data layer. And what we want to do is make it so that there's different parts of a wallet. There's the phrase, there's the account, there's the phrase, the seed, the account, the usage, and the index. And there's things that you want to do, like you might want to be able to sign, you might want to be able to load up an address with money, you might want to be able to spend a particular address, or basically the concept of coin control. Being able to explore what the web wallet looks like. Also, this would also involve looking at Evo keys. So there's some work to do for Evo keys that are different from the traditional keys. That one is a little bit duplicated between another proposal, but they both need it. So if one gets funded or the other one gets funded, we'll get the bits that we need for that in either proposal, hopefully, or both. Hopefully we get both proposals passed. Anyway, there's that. And then the platform identities. Platform has a lot of stuff going on it. I'm not going to do all that here, but basically we want to be able to have a web explorer for platform identities. So that's what this proposal is about. It's not going to be all of the platform transitions. We're just going to focus on the platform identity transitions to start, so that we can get something done, get it out the door, and then we can start working on the other transitions. And this is all web-based. No protocols that won't work in a web browser. No code that won't work in the web browser, except for that veneer layer I was talking about with the proxies, where they might need to basically upgrade something from TCP to WebSocket, or from ZMQ to server-side event, that sort of thing. So anyway, that's what I got. I'm going to go do another one of these videos for those two as well. And so vote yes if you want to. It's up on the leaderboard right now. Adios.